Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. This is Joelle, and I am the Viberarian. I'm here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. That's part of my daily goals. And when I come on here, it is in the hopes that you too will hear something that elevates, enlightens, and empowers you on your journey too. This is In the Cards with the Viberarian, and this is the space where I get to share with you decks from my collection, tools that I'm using. I'm going to be talking with creators and illustrators and also other collectors. This is the second episode of In the Cards. Last week, we featured the Love on the Record Oracle deck by Crystal Banner of Colette. Cute deck. I think the reading was really fun. Thank you to everyone who showed up. And I'm looking forward to just continuing to show you what I'm working with. All right. Oracle cards are a great divination tool. It's a great way to connect with your guides and to develop a way for them to communicate with you that might be a little more nuanced than what your current dialogue is in terms of when you hear or feel that you should do something or that you're getting messages. I love Oracle cards because they can be about any topic, and any system that is created by someone can become a kind of key for you to decode your life and the journey that you're on. This particular deck, I'm very excited to show. It is the Shaman's Dream Oracle cards. This is a collaboration deck between Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron-Reid. Now, I have several Colette Baron-Reid decks. I think some of my first decks that I started reading with were probably Colette Baron-Reid decks. So I am a longtime user and fan of her work. Her decks have been very helpful for me. This is my first encounter with Mr. Villoldo. I don't even know how to apply the right title to him. He is kind of like what you would think of in terms of Deepak Chopra. He's a way shower. He's a very well-known spiritual teacher. He works in the area of shamanism and from like the Andean perspective. And so I've encountered his works out on the internet, but never in terms of bringing an oracle through. I've never read any of his books when I ordered this deck either. So I thought that this would be a good addition to my collection. So tonight I'll share with you a little bit more, point you to some resources to find out more about the deck and the creator, and then we'll pull some cards. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat. Hello to Kathy. Good to see you again. Wonderful. Thank you for being part of the Good Vibe tribe. And so I know the moderator one is not attending this today. There's a couple other people that we're going to skate on through. And if you should catch this at another time and space, know that it's the perfect time for you. And if you're considering buying this deck, I hope that you find that this is an informative session. I will tell you that I don't do deck walkthroughs all the way where I just open the cards, because as soon as I begin to encounter, I start to get spiritual messages. And so I prefer to just use the cards when I'm ready to do divination rather than just to look at them for the art, right? So hello to Washington and the place to be. Thanks for showing up this evening as well. So if you are in the market for a tool, I think Oracle cards are an easier option than, say, a systemic divination tool such as tarot. In tarot, you really kind of have to understand the archetypes and the things that are the structure and foundation of how the deck was created. Oracle cards, you don't need to do any backstory other than read the materials of the person who created the deck. And even then, you don't have to do that. You can really just start looking at the cards and see what messages are communicated to you directly without any additional kind of input from anyone else. But This deck, I think, is available from Hay House. I can't remember if I bought it from Hay House or if I bought it at a local store here in Atlanta, Holistic Health and Wellness. I'll have to look at my loyalty account there to see if it tells me that title. But I do know that Hay House is the publisher of this particular deck. All right, so first of all, the deck box is very solid. It's well designed. That's one of the nice things about buying from somewhere like Hay House is you know that the quality of the material is going to be very, very good and well thought out from start to finish. So it has a magnetic clasp kind of close here, so it does stay sturdy. And then, of course, inside it says, "We are all sacred dreamers dreaming the world into being." All right, so beautiful little prompt, a little purple. It says to me all of that crown chakra guidance kind of coming in. It says, "Discover your true destiny as a dreamer," is on the sides. Now, again, they have a nice book, and I love when the deck boxes now come with a little ribbon for you to be able to easily pull your deck out. Some decks now, they put a little finger indentation. I love it that they're starting to do this because sometimes, you know, we were struggling to get the cards in and out of boxes. Okay, hello to Rashay. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for putting yourself out there, saying hello and where you're from. For all the ATLians who are showing up, I appreciate you. And we're going to talk cards. So I'm going to give you some information first from the deck, from the creators, just for a little bit of background. And let me also then show you the pages of these individuals in case you want to look up more information. And I will try to put the links to these resources in the show notes once the episode goes post-processing. So here's this gentleman, Mr. Villoldo, and so his face might look familiar to you. He's been, I think, on Oprah. The Four Winds is his, you know, bestseller, Shift Network, well known. You'll probably have seen him come across your suggested videos at some point in YouTube if you've done any kind of spiritual or self-development searching at all. He might have come up for you. He also has his own YouTube channel. That's where I would see some of his things. I would just see them suggested to me, and sometimes I give a couple listens to something. Never really got all the way deep into his teachings, but it's definitely, I think he's a known voice out there in the sphere. Now, we also have Colette Baron-Reid. She is very prolific. As I said, some of my first decks that I owned were Colette Baron-Reid. I have the Enchanted Map, the Wisdom of the Oracle, love that deck, the Spirit Animal Oracle, the Crystal Spirits, the Oracle of the Seven Energies, the Good Tarot. And one of my friends has the Goddess Power deck, and maybe the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards too. So between myself and other people, I know that somebody's got Colette Baron-Reid's decks. And she used to have a big Oracle card event down in Texas, I think, prior to the pandemic. Oracle Palooza, I think was the name of it. So she's like one of the beginning designers in the modern wave of what I would say is the emergence of Oracle cards that happened a few, you know, like maybe 10 years ago. She's one of the first people post Doreen Virtue to be very prolific in terms of creating Oracle divination tools. And the interesting thing that I'll share with you, if you want to do your own reading with this deck, one of the features that she has on her webpage is that she will have little online apps that you can go ahead and like click through and do your own just on the moment reading for yourself. And so she'll rotate from time to time when new decks come out. It's a good opportunity to kind of explore the deck and see if you like the vibration of it before deciding to purchase. So again, you can just find this from, if you put in Shaman's Dream as a search term on Google. I keep tripping over the word shaman because my friends in UK say shaman, right? So when we're talking, they're always saying, oh, the shamans. And it took me a long time to kind of understand, what they meant. And it's just one of those little language things. So I hear it both ways. So forgive me if I kind of sound like I switch back and forth in this. So, okay, hello to Munch. Good to see you too. Let's just see if I can get back to where I think I am. It's very interesting being on the live stream. Okay, so from the material at the beginning, the thing about the shamans function, and it's very much like an indigenous kind of way of interacting with the world. The world is known to be both elemental and animal and human. So there is a connection to earth and the mother father energy. And then connecting with the various worlds, the ancestors, the lower world, and taking those journeys into the interior self. So it's very interesting because one of the things that they talk about in the creation of this deck, when they came together, they said that rather than reflecting a particular set of cultural beliefs, this deck evokes the archetype of the shaman and draws upon the world's meaning as a walker between worlds. We have purposely chosen non-traditional imagery to evoke particular moods and themes while being careful that the art depicts symbols with the utmost respect for all cultures. We wish to honor classic archetypes while presenting them in a modern, relatable way. Our intention is not to offer a deck restricted to one tradition, but to make contemporary the wisdom of the ancients who guide us in our dreamscapes. So I love that they're saying that it doesn't matter whether you're talking about, an African shamanism, a Native American shamanism, a Central American shaman, it doesn't matter. They're sitting at the intersection of that and saying that all of those paths to the inner world and the aspects of self are valid. And I thought that was a great energy to have. And they also say that every thought that you hold long enough lingers in the essence of the universe and becomes a sparkling thread with the power to weave intention into the fabric of reality. We are all sacred dreamers, dreaming the world into being. What will you dream? Okay, so this is going to be very interesting because we are definitely at the new year, and a lot of us spend time revisioning ourselves. Some of us, we don't wait for that to be like a specific time. We're constantly in the act of revisioning ourselves. Certainly during Mercury retrograde, it's a time when we're reviewing things. And energies have been, we were in Mars retrograde for a while, so we've got this opportunity to see what is my new going to be? What do I want to bring into reality for myself, and not just for myself, but for others, since we're all one in this big thing. So what I want to do first is go ahead and draw an initial card to start our conversation this evening and see what messages want to come through. And then if you're in the chat room and you would like a card, it's going to be, we're going to be picking a number between 1, 2, or 3. So just put the number that you want, and I'll see you and I'll get to you and we'll do it. So from the messages that the Shaman's Oracle, from that place between the worlds, from our inner aspects, and from where we can create and dream into vision for the betterment of ourselves and all humanity. Let us see what guidance wants to be shared. All right. Oh, fortune's wheel, luck and right timing. Look at that. And it's a 23, which is a 5. All right, so right away, what I'm getting for one thing is we have been going through a huge amount of solar activity the last 7 days, maybe 10 days. I'll refer you to the YouTube channel Suspicious Observers. It's a very sciencey channel. Ben has been following space weather, and he's a scientist that I greatly respect. I've been following him for over a decade, and he talks about every day what's happened on the sun, if there's been a solar eruption, if there's been an ejection of plasma, whether there will be earthquakes or earth impact from these activities that are happening on the sun. And so some of the pictures that he showed this week have had similar outbursts to this. And then also it's like the ring of fire. I can also sense that as well, which is, when there's lava moving and when we're having earth crust shifts, the ring of fire gets very active. Right, so we are bringing in something. I can even see like angel's wings or eagle's wings at the center. So this is almost like an outburst of energy to me. It's firing up. I'm very curious to see luck and right timing. I'm very curious to see what this has to do with. 5 is a number that's been coming up a lot lately as well, change and transition. So let us see what it says here. A turn of fortune. The fortune's wheel is a sign that luck has found the right timing in your life. You have the magic touch and everything turns to gold. There's nothing you can do wrong. You only need to hold what you desire as your intention and it becomes true. Do not waste this power on trifling things. Dream big, for surely this opportune moment will pass. Such is the nature of fortune's wheel. Use the creative power of the fortune's wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will be returned to you tenfold. Use it only for your gain, and you will be left impoverished and with the bitter taste of squandered opportunity. Fortune's wheel comes unannounced. Notice the early signs, the coincidental encounters, and the seemingly magical and synchronous events that herald its arrival. That call, that email, that invitation, that chance encounter was no accident. They all were choreographed by fortune. Do not wait any longer. Carpe diem. Recall your boldest and noblest longing and invite it into your life. This invitation is all that is required. Wow, how great is that? Okay, and I just bought a Care Bear at Walgreens, and it was the Wish Bear, Make a Wish Bear. It had a little star on it, right? When you wish upon a star. So I've been doing that activity. All right, so woo, luck be a lady tonight. All right. So I received that energy. Does anybody else want a message from me this evening? Thank you so much for everyone who's joined, who's in the chat. That was great. I'm ready for the beautiful turn of events for all of us to have more joy and prosperity, more empowered living. It's so much gold in that color in there. All right. All right. We got a call for a card number 2. So here we go. Let's check in to see if it was frozen. right, last one here. Ooh, wow, this is an interesting card. All right. Horned cactus, resourcefulness, resourcefulness. Card number 29, which is an 11, that is conscious co-creation with the divine. Wow. It's also green, that's our heart chakra. It's prickly. I'm wondering what that is with the prickly pear cactus lady. But she has the horns of a bull. That is hilarious. I wonder what this being is, but it does feel like there's a bull in the image. Let's see what else I see. It almost does, it looks almost like Egyptian as well. If you look to the image of just the person versus the cactus part about it. Very interesting. Okay, so card C29, what do we have here? Blooming through resilience, resourcefulness, and discovery. Okay, when nothing seems to be happening fast enough or your ideas have dried up, you begin to question your relevance. During these periods in life, you might feel like giving up, frustrated and resentful that success will never happen for you. The issue here, however, is a matter of perception. The horned cactus thrives in the barren desertscape, offering you the gift of water when all appears to be dry. If you look at its body, you see the natural thorns that protect it from predators and the elements. What you don't see are the deep roots that extend far into the earth, filling it with a continuous flow of water. This succulent is a symbol of resilience, of resourcefulness, of your needs being met in spite of appearances to the contrary. It's a reminder of the courage and inherent wisdom needed to dig deep below the less than friendly surface that hides a rich underground world. Can you connect to this magical truth and trust? The desert is a mystical place filled with mysterious creatures beautifully adapted to their environments. The horned cactus tells you to take heart. This journey is only temporary and you will soon be met with greener pastures. But first, you must acknowledge your inner strength and fortitude as you're tested here. Be as the cactus, resilient and resourceful. Wow, what? What? Now I can't even, I'm not even in, professional mode on this. I know too much from my person who requested this card to not to, wow. That's just on knowing what I know. This is the perfect card. Resourcefulness, love it. I have to smile because I want to see your face right now. All right, so we're getting ready to move on to the next person. Can I get an amen in there from the peanut gallery? The person who requested Washington. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got for the next person is number 2. Hello to Helen down in Australia. Always joining in to join with the good vibe tribe. Okay, Washington said amazing. I know that. I know that's right. I love it when spirit confirms messages for us. Okay. All right. So I cleared the cards, and we've got for my 7 sister card number 2. Here we go. Pile number 2. Last shuffle. Right. Ooh, falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Ooh, it's kind of like a fuzzy picture in the card. It's not even that. I wish I could make it clear. It's just not that clear of a picture. Wow. Okay, let's see here. Falling angel is a 19, which is a 20. So that's movement forward into the creation that you've envisioned with spirit. Let's see here. You are falling unconscious spiritual narcolepsy. You are being cautioned now to not fall asleep or go unconscious. You've been flying above the strife and suffering of the world in angelic bliss. However, you risk being seduced by the beauty and comfort of your situation and losing track of your aspirations, your wings. As you fall, you pick up speed, heading towards the trees below and a possible nasty landing. Remember that all you need to do to stop being a falling angel is spread your wings to halt your descent and find an updraft again. Do not be seduced by the fallen angels, your supposed friends and companions who are ready to use you for their pleasure and have only their interests in mind. As you soar once more in flight, receive the gift of the falling angel as an invitation to study the forest from above the trees. In other words, to analyze your situation from a higher perspective without being entangled in its thorny branches. Once you understand what needs to be done, head back to your lofty heights and stand by for the right moment. Action you take now may backfire. Stay cautious and wait until you are guided to change. You will know when the time is ripe. Ooh, there's deep work. I've got this card before. And I was like, I didn't even know I was asleep, but okay, spirit, what do I need to do? Like, okay, I thought I was paying attention, but show me where I wasn't, right? And I was able to see and move forward with the gentle nudge. But I guess you got to wait till the nudge comes in, right? Very cool, very interesting. Okay. Anyone else interested in having a card? If no one else, then I will wind up pulling a card just to close us out. And I just think this is a great deck. It's not one that I'll read with every day for guidance, but I do pull it out frequently when I want to go in. Okay, Helen, 1, 2, or 3. Oh, number 1, I see you. I'm glad you're still on. I always love connecting with you despite our time change differences. All right, so we're going to pick pile 1 here for Sister Helen. Ooh, stranger, curiosity. I got this card before. It's very interesting. It's like the mysterious stranger, but I don't know if you're familiar at all. I'm really trying to see if I can get this. The picture in here, whenever I see this card, I think about DMX, the rapper, right? This guy, I don't know, for whatever reason, he looks like DMX to me in the face. And, you know, he was like always, you know, Rough Riders and was a little bit strange to people, but he made a lot of sense, but he was definitely on a different vibration. So I could see like almost like alchemy with this hand. The orange coming, right? He does look like DMX, right? Like I can see him under a bridge in New York, like getting ready to spit a rhyme. Okay. Anyway, but no, it's like also he's like got alchemy or something coming from his hands. That's very interesting. It's fire and water both. And he's got fairy wings over to the side. And then 8 is about as above, so below, bringing down, whatever the energy is going to be continuous. And we just need to change the frequency of it. So that's very interesting as well. So who is this stranger that wants to be shown the other, moving past the fear of differences, curiosity, and acceptance? The stranger moves through the world in a shroud of darkness that often elicits fear, rejection, and uncertainty, as the danger of the unknown defines its very presence. Yes, there is a veil of separation between you. Look closer and summon the courage to remain open to what you might find. You may be conditioned to look only for what mirrors what is safe and known to you, refusing to entertain any concept of, quote, other, unquote, beyond something to fear. In order to broaden your world and your experience of it, you must refute the illusions that sameness is the only way. Nothing you expect externally matches up with the other, and you're challenged by your own inexperience, but don't miss this opportunity for learning. Something extraordinary is being offered to you now if you remain curious and teachable. Allow the newness to envelop you as you explore the possibilities. This is a departure from your expectations, but the stranger has come to invite you to dance to a new music, a new tempo, a new sensation that will add more dimension to you and what you create as a result. Now is the time to leave room for other points of view, other ways of seeing with humility and grace. This is a defining moment. Take the risk. Life is like a precious diamond with many facets, not just one. That's cool. All right. I can't wait to hear more about what that involves. Very, very cool. All right, for the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Now you see why I like doing it every day. That's a good question. It's like a lot of prompt and energy to come through for you to wake up and do it all over again tomorrow. These are cards that you like, guidance that you really sit with and allow for further conversation to come through now that it's started and the spirit has your attention about it. All right. So, all right. I'm going to do one last card here. And again, thank you all for joining, everyone who's been in the chat. I don't have any referral codes or anything for these decks. And I purchased this particular deck. It was not given to me for any promotional consideration. And so if you have decks that you are interested in, let's say, oh my goodness. It says, I had a stranger in my house last night. Okay, literally. A hair client triggered the hell out of me and I'm working through it. Okay. All right. All right. A literal stranger in your house. I know you had to giggle when that came through. All right. And as I said, if there's any decks that you would like to recommend, review, or talk about, drop them in the comments. I do follow and seek, and I'll try to get them on the show next week. I'm going to have just the episode called Tarot Time. We're going to talk about what is tarot in relationship to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So I'm going to share some information about that and hopefully give you some tips that you can use in your own practice of divination. And then the week after that will be the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck with my guest, Stacey Mullen. So, all right, let's see your final message. Stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to make sure I only got one card. It feels like two. Wow. Limitless possibilities. So we have the Wheel of Fortune that's saying, take your shot. Fortune is there. This is the moment. Everything is auspicious, is ready for you, and that there's limitless possibilities. Like, imagine, I love that song by John Lennon, right? Imagine the world where everyone is peaceful and prosperous, where everyone is healthy and happy. We can dream that vision into being for all of us, right? So, stars in the skies. I also have over in my corner here where it says reach for the stars. And oh, my bear, my Care Bear that I just got, this says wish upon a star. Oh, I love it. Okay. I love it. It's like Zen, and it's like also there's energy going up from her fingertips or the person's fingertips as well. And it's almost like they're on a mountain, like you could see the mountains underneath here, but the bridge is going over that. Beautiful starry sky. Okay, 51 is a 6. Having the abundance to give and the ability to give and receive. All right. Embracing opportunity and limitless possibility. When you look up into the velvety dark blanket of the night sky covering the vast expanse of space, can you count all the stars twinkling above? Could you imagine that you are only glimpsing a teeny sliver of what is actually there? This is the domain of limitless possibility, of the never-ending sea of potential that you yourself are made of and have now at your disposal. Your life right now is alive with possibility and needs your clear focus to hone in on what avenue of exploration most calls to you. It's time to choose and not be distracted by the sheer magnitude of what may be. Be here now. Gather your thoughts and your most cherished dreams. Focus on the brightest star in your never-ending sky and take small steps, small movements towards calling this glittering potential into reality. If you can imagine this and hold that vision, you will summon all the celestial helpers and guides to you to aid you in bringing it into fruition. Keep your focus on the essence of potential rather than the form of it. The universe has its own ideas of how best to serve you and all of us at the same time. Trust this as fact rather than theory, and you might not act surprised when your dreams come true, for they surely will, exactly how you need them to. Wow. Oh, I love it. Exactly as you need them to. Let spirit work it out and give you your biggest wish. Wow, this is perfect, perfect guidance. Okay, there you have it. This is the Shaman's Dream Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid and Alberto Villoldo from Hay House Publishing. I hope that you had a great first encounter or second encounter, whatever it was, with this deck this evening. And let me know if you end up buying it or using it. If you do the online version that's available, let me know how that turns out for you as well. I'm just so excited. Thank you for joining me for this moment in the cards with the Viberarian. And I will see you on next week's live. All right. Namaste.